What's going on, guys? Today I'm doing another gas station cigar review. I haven't done one in a while, but we are revisiting an old favorite, at least for me, and one that a lot of you guys already know. So I'm already familiar with this. I'm just revisiting it because I haven't had it in a while. And it is the regular Al Capone Slims, the rum flavored. Alright, I haven't had these ones specifically. This is a fresh pack, just opens. But I can tell you I have two go-to Cigarillos, depending on how I feel. One is the Al Capone Jamaican Blaze. This is a very old pack, and these are filtered. Okay, so a little bit different. Most times in the store you'll see the unfiltered ones, but I have had people, ask for me to do videos on the filtered ones as well. It's a little bit different. So these have a filter in them. So if you do prefer that in a cigarillo, then it is offered. But besides the Jamaican Blaze, I also smoke Davidoff cigarillos, alright? And what I can tell you is from my experience between, the Al Capone line as a whole and something like Davidoff or maybe a really higher end cigarillo, they offer the same thing for me. Although the flavor is different, these are exponentially more expensive. Very expensive compared to, regular Al Capones. So, speaking of Al Capone, I have my beanie on. Actually, I like this. I swap it back and forth. I wear it in a lot of videos, but the other side says no comment. And when I have this side showing on the front, I usually get a lot of comments from people. Like, where'd you get that hat? Or what's that mean? But anyway, favorite beanie, happen to be wearing. I have a lot of Al Capone swag that people have sent me before. In fact, I have an ashtray here as well that's Al Capone. And I'm going to be using a brand new electric Al Capone lighter as well. Alright, so when you buy these, you can accumulate points and stuff. They have all kinds of promotional things. And on their website, I think they have a whole section, all kinds of stuff with their logo on it. Something else that someone sent me recently, and I may use them in the future for making my own blends, are some wraps. And this is brand new. I did not know that Al Capone made wraps. They have an original, a cognac, and a rum flavored wrap. Alright, so this is literally just a tobacco leaf. In this particular case, they have the adhesive, they have a peel sticker on there. Alright, so you can fill it up with what you want, peel the sticker off, and then roll it, as opposed to like something that you would lick. Never used these before. As you guys know, I don't have a particular need for wraps. We all know what people are usually doing with wraps. How I will use these is I will put pipe tobacco in it and make a, special blend. Pretty interesting though. So thank you for the person who sent those. I never saw them at the store before. So that's something new apparently. So yeah, anyway, let's get into it. This one is going to be, again, on just the most common of all their different offerings. All right, box opens like so. And I'm going to use their electric lighter here. All right, which is super simple. There's a little USB on one side so you can plug it in to charge it. And then when you flip the other side, it just lights up a coil. Everyone's seen these electric lighters. So yeah, let's get into it here. Now the one thing about Al Capone's is they are available everywhere. Not just a gas station cigar, you often find these at actual smoke shops as well. And they use real tobacco, which is really nice, and the leaf, or wrapper, excuse me, is a tobacco leaf as well. So to me, this is a real, I don't know why I'm using the air quotes, because so many gas station cigars are not real cigars. I do consider this a real cigar. It just happens to have a chopped filler, and it's very affordable. Let's see what the package says. Alright, 10 premium cigarillos, hand-rolled, natural wrapper. This one says Florida for the Intercontinental Cigar Corp. That might just mean the distributor, because it says that they are made in Honduras. And then of course there's a warning for health, because cigars are not healthy. They are less harmful than cigarettes. I often correct people because people say, oh no, pipes and cigars are healthy compared to cigarettes. Nothing's healthy. Smoking's not healthy. It's just less harmful when you're smoking all natural tobacco as opposed to a heavily, chemical filled cigarette. So obviously they light up pretty easy even with the electric lighter. Alright, clean ash, they burn totally fine. Although most Cigarillos don't have a problem with the burn because it's such a small diameter cigar. You really only have those issues when you have, you know, fatter cigars. The flavor is great. It's just a good tobacco. The one thing that I've noticed though when smoking Al Capones consistently is the flavor is very subtle. Like, these are supposed to be rum dipped. I don't have a specific rum flavor. There's a sweetness. There's like a rum sweetness, but not the actual flavor to me compared to like their cognac ones or other variants. I think they have a green one too. I don't think I've ever had that one. But yeah, I mean, on occasion, I want to have a cigar, but you know, I don't want to sit down for an hour and a half or an hour or even 45 minutes. I just want like a, you know, 10 or 15 minute smoke. And that's where Cigarillos in general come in. But as far as like affordable ones, I mean, it's such a go-to. I've always really enjoyed Al Capone as a company. They're just really good quality Cigarillos, you know. It's a real cigar you can get at a gas station. You know what I mean? Most of the stuff that I've done reviews, this whole series, excuse me, with the gas station cigars, a lot of those are not really cigars. They're just glorified flavored cigarettes. And as we know, most of those people aren't even smoking them. They're just splitting them and putting their own tobacco in there. But this is one you can actually buy and smoke and enjoy, and it is pretty affordable. So yeah, I'll give you a comparison with this Davidoff as well. It's fancy, but you're paying for it. So here is one of the Davidoffs. Compared to the Al Capone. But although the flavor is a little bit different, the experience is exactly the same. They smoke for the same amount of time. They're both, you know, quality tobacco. The Davidoff might have like more of an aged tobacco. Don't know specifically offhand, but they're so similar. Like I said, they're interchangeable to me. Sometimes I'm feeling a little bit fancy, a little pinky in the air, and I'll smoke a Davidoff, and other times I'll just grab an Al Capone because they're affordable. But this box, this has lasted me, God, I probably had this for at least 2 or 3 years. I have 5, it's like 6 or 7 left in there. But anyway. The tobacco is mild, like most of the gas station cigars. Some of them are super light. And some are a little bit stronger. I mean, this has more flavor than, and natural flavor, mind you. Okay, again, these are rum dipped, as the package says here, but it's 99% tobacco flavor, whereas all the other gas station cigars that we're used to are actually heavily flavored, and the tobacco is not something you actually want to taste because the tobacco quality is so low. So of course in the video I'll smoke it down to where I'm done with it so you can get an idea of how long it takes to smoke as well. But you can retrohale with this or blow the smoke out of your nose because it's not that strong of a tobacco and it actually picks up a lot more flavor. So when you do that, when you retrohale, you do get more of that kind of rum thing that's coming through. I don't usually get it on, you know, just regularly puffing it. But that really intensifies flavors. Now, I wouldn't recommend that with some of the much stronger real cigars or actual, you know, larger cigars, just because it can quite burn your whole, you know, nose and nasal passage and all that stuff. But with lighter tobaccos, it's a great way to pick up on those subtle flavors. Like in this particular case, the rum. It doesn't taste like rum, but there's something there which I know is probably that rum influence. So yeah, I mean, just clean burning, simple. I'll smoke it down to probably there. It's funny because when I first got into cigars as a whole, I always thought I was wasting it. When you get to the very end, it's like, oh, you gotta smoke every tiny little bit. It's not, you know, if you're smoking a cigar, any type of cigar, it shouldn't look like a little roach. You know what I mean? Like, once it starts getting hot, you're done. If you're not enjoying the experience, it's over with. So don't worry about wasting cigars, even if you're spending a lot of money. In this particular case, you're not, so it doesn't really matter. And there's been cases where I just lit one, and I had to go do something, or the phone rang, and I got to a conversation, and the whole thing was wasted, and it wasn't a big deal, because they are so inexpensive. But even right here at this point, it's still smoking cool. I don't have any burning sensation. Doesn't, you know, taste like an ashtray or anything like that. I'm still getting full flavor as if I just lit it. That's another advantage too of having a cigarillo, is that you get a lot of the flavor for most of the experience. Whereas with bigger cigars, sometimes, especially if you're smoking them too fast, the flavor gets blown out and it starts tasting crappy and it gets way too hot way before it's actually over, you know, the experience. But these are perfect too as well in the wintertime. It's cold, you know, and I don't particularly smoke in my house. So I have to come outside to smoke, and if it's 5 degrees outside, I might not want to sit out there for an hour and a half smoking a full-size cigar, but I might be in the mood to have a cigar, and that's where the cigarillos really shine. It could be a 5-minute thing, it could be a 1-minute thing if you want. Just smoke it for a minute, throw it out. It's cheap enough to get rid of it. Or you can have a full, like, 10-minute smoke, or whatever this happens to be. So yeah, always been a fan of them. Nothing's changed. I just haven't had these particular ones in a while. I've had these, you know, filtered ones. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I might have done a video on that. It was probably a year or two old, maybe even older than that, but I'm pretty sure I did a video on those. Alright, had to cut film there for a second just because my phone rang. But I only left for about 40 seconds or so. At this point, it's not really getting hot yet. I probably have a couple more puffs on it, but I can taste the flavors kind of dissipating a little bit, and it's tasting more like, you know, burnt ash. So I'll probably end it right here. And that's about where it's done anyway. You know, like I said, you're not going to be puffing on this thing until you burn your fingers. So there you go. I mean, it's everything I remember. Nothing's changed as far as my opinion. The only downside to me is there's not huge significant differences in flavors, you know what I mean? Two totally different ones. This one has a filter, this one doesn't. They're both rum dipped, totally different names, totally different colors, but to me, it's a very similar flavor and experience. Alright, so don't get bogged down with, oh, these ones are better than these. Anything with the Al Capone logo on it is definitely worth trying. They do have the longer ones if you want a longer experience. Those come in those plastic tubes. That's pretty cool too. And then, of course, they also make the 2-packs. So if you just want to try it, you don't want a full 10-pack, you can have those as well. What's pretty cool, too, is obviously you can save the case. If you get a 10-pack and you smoke them all, just save the plastic case, and you can buy the 2-packs and put them in here so they don't break. So it's definitely worth checking out. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Take care.